Hey, welcome to the Empower Series, everyone. I am so excited today because I've got a guest, a good friend of mine. He's going to drop some serious knowledge on us. If you've got a business or any kind of brand that you want to get known and heard, he's going to drop some serious knowledge on us today. But before we get started with that, this program is for people who are either entrepreneurs, whether you're Black-owned or minority-owned or any kind of business, and you want to get your business known. We're going to talk about some marketing strategies and some ways for you to increase your brand, your awareness. So get your pens and paper ready. Also, if you know somebody that is interested in something like that or this would be very valuable for them, do not keep us a secret. Please, please, please share the link. Let people know about us right now. As we're going through this, if you're watching us online on Facebook or on YouTube, feel free to add comments. In the chat, live chat, go ahead and put down your comments and your questions. If we don't get to them tonight, we will get to them directly for sure and give you a resource to make sure that all of your questions get answered. So right now, if you haven't already, share this with somebody else. I always tell you that the only way people are going to find out about the Empower Series is if you share it with them. So take the time and let them know. I want to thank you for joining in with us today. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, subscribe to our channel. If you haven't liked us or commented on any of our programs, please do so. Like I said before, the Empower Series is all about empowering you and inspiring you to thrive. Today, we are going to talk about your business and how to get it known. The title of our podcast is Expanding Your Reach and Getting Your Business Noticed. Our guest is Shane Hefner. He is the founder of Go Black Business. He's been in business for over 15 years, but he's been in advertising and marketing for much longer than that, over 20 years. I'll let him explain more of his business, but we're going to dive into how he got started, what inspired him, what he's doing now to really help Black-owned businesses succeed and grow. And then he's going to give us some tips if you're just starting out and you don't have a budget. Well, how can you get some guerrilla marketing or advertising and get your business started so you can get the funds to start really investing in marketing and measuring your ROI. So, Shane, thank you again for coming back to the Empower Series, my brother.
Thank you for inviting me, man. I love it. You know that.
Well, like I said, man, I want to give you some flowers now. You have been very influential in how the Empower Series is impacting the community. Back when I was a financial advisor at Ameriprise, I used to go to your business lunches, right?
Yes.
Those were pretty sweet. The food was good, networking was good, but what was more important though, was kind of a tie. The value, you always had a speaker speak that gave definitely some good information, but networking in that room was so beneficial. And I know that you were doing that for a while. For some reason, you stopped.
Right. Yeah.
But in 2017, March of 2017, we started doing that on Fridays.
Right.
And that is a direct influence and from you.
Right.
So I want to thank you for that.
Yeah. And you've done a wonderful job, man. Like I said, if people haven't saw some of the other podcasts and some of the people you had some really good. Like it's just it's a lot of times you just providing a service and for people to really get in there. So I'm excited to be back again and ready to share some more knowledge and hopefully help someone, take their business to another level, or they just starting, just kind of giving some tips and advice and what we've been through and what we've seen helping businesses or just businesses starting out and some of the mistakes that some people usually make starting out.
Okay, well, I want to start with this. So, unfortunately, not enough people know about you.
Okay, yeah.
So I want to give you your platform to talk about, because I know that your business is more than just a Black business directory.
Yes.
So I want to talk about what is Go Black Business, and then also tell us about what inspired you to even start Go Black Business.
Okay, so I'll start with the first question. So basically, yes, we're the Black Business Directory here in Dallas. I started the business in 2010. Prior to that, I was working at the Dallas Weekly newspaper at the time.
Right.
And so just kept running into, I got a copy of it too. Mm-hmm. So I kept running into this. This was the Black pages for Dallas. This was the directory. Yeah, this was
Support Black businesses.
And this was it was really good, and then it just became this, like, I was all about quality, right? And so every time I saw it, I almost cringed sometimes because I get the attempt, but I was raised.
So who published that?
Well, because a friend of mine did this, and a good friend of mine who did it, so I won't go into that part. But the fact was, like I said, when I kept seeing it at places, seeing it at the Black Chamber of Commerce and everything, it was like, I was like, man, like, why we gotta have better than this, right? We just can't be misrepresented. And so just because of that and how I came up through, Cheryl Smith was one of my mentors and my professor at Parkland College, and her thing was always like, if you're gonna do it good, do it well, excel in it. Don't just half-ass it, right? And so I happened to be at a market and saw the Asian business directory at the Asian store. And as soon as I passed it, I saw it. I was like, damn. So I grabbed it and started going through it, full color, full. I was like, why we, like, this is what I'm talking about. As you can see, it's not pixelated and it's quality. And I was like, this is. So I sat in the car, called a number on the back of the Asian business directory, and it was Go Asian business directory. That was it. And so I ended up calling the lady. Long story short, because I had did some stuff for her some time back, and I never even knew it was the same person. She's like, I'll have a meeting with you and we can discuss it. So I ended up buying like rights to the Black business directory by using just their template and changing everything from Asian to Black. Color scheme, this website, everything. So basically it saved me money on doing all of that and recreating everything. So it's basically like a leasing rights. And so I ended up, so basically like, I can give you the first copy. Like some of the first copies was like this. And this used to be Asian directory. We changed it to Black. They had the same setup, same color scheme and everything. We went through all the stuff, changed it all out. And this was like the original that's Comerica. Was our first, one of our first advertisers. This is back at two.
So hold on, let me get Comerica some dap. So Comerica has been a long-time supporter of the Empower series, supporting us every year since 2011 for over 13 years. So thank you, Comerica Bank.
And Comerica has been one of our leaders, sponsors and people who backed us since we started too. From day one, they were one of our biggest, and still to this day we still do business with them. And so it was the quality that made me. So that's kind of how it all started. And at the time, like I said, I knew right then that I was going to do it. And so 2 weeks later, I went in Mr. Washington's office and told him.
And Mr. Washington who?
Jim Washington, who was the publisher for the Dallas Weekly newspaper. Just recently went to heaven. So big mentor, big supporter, and like a father figure to me. So I learned a lot from him. I still hear his voice a lot. So, but as soon as I walked in the office, he said, "Don't tell me you're leaving." I don't know how you knew. I never talked about it. He's like, so long story short, that's how the Black business started, and that's what was that. Now your second question was.
So you told me a little bit about what inspired you, but I know you're doing more than just a Black business directory.
Yes.
Right?
So the services, so when we first started, it was the Black business directory, which was online directory, and then it was just a physical copy of the directory.
Okay.
At the time, I had a database that was pretty big that had been generated for a while, and kind of just, I learned that through Mr. Washington. Well, actually, Mr. Washington kind of put that in my lap. Hey, there's this constant contact or this email marketing, we need to know what it is. So I just took it and I got in it and really went to all the courses and kind of just took it to another level. So we quickly grew our database really quick without any buying lists and all that stuff. We generically and just kind of just did that organically and made it to what it was. So I grew my database really quick when I started the company. So we started providing email marketing as a part of our services, and then later, I think it was like during that 2012 through 15 era, I started seeing these dips that were happening, like especially in the summertime for marketing and advertising. So marketing and advertising, I don't care if it's newspaper, radio, it's like ever since I've been in marketing and advertising, summer's always this dip for everybody. It doesn't matter who it is, it's just a dip. I don't know if it's back to school, I don't know if it's kids being home from school, I don't know if it's vacations, I don't know what it is, bills going up or whatever, but the summers tend to be like some of the hardest times for publishing and advertising and marketing. And so ran into a guy, Darnell Smith, who's also in heaven, but like a brother from another mother, and he had created software for a digital advertising system. So he was the first one to introduce me to that. He had his own software, proprietary, and so we started doing television inside. The first place was South Dallas Cafe when it used to be on Grand Avenue. We put a television there, ads for business and for other advertisers who wanted to advertise. And so it started from one system, 3 systems, 5 systems, And so then bring that fast forward to today, the service we offer now, or the directory, both online, we do a physical and digital version of that. And then we have the email marketing still, but our email marketing now, we have over 50,000 members in our database. And so we send our emails and also our feeds into all the social media platforms. So it goes to LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. And then we have the television systems now. So the African American market part of the systems, I have like 40 kiosks and television inside barbershops, beauty salons, nightclubs, restaurants, doctor's offices, all over the Metroplex. Then I also have another 25 in the Hispanic market. And then I have a collaboration with Dolphin Digital where we can provide you inside the Indian and Pakistani market, and they have over 200 locations in the Metroplex. So we do a lot of that. We also partner with Edric Laney, who owns Southwest Mobile Advertising, so the trucks. We actually did a collaborative campaign.
You mean like the print on the trucks?
Yeah, the printed stuff on the trucks. And he has access also to digital trucks. So it's like digital also. Yeah. That's a new thing, just expensive as hell. But because I was going to buy trucks, and I was like, oh, yeah, we have to wait for that one because they're very expensive because of all the technology that goes into them. But yeah, we collaborate a lot on some things. We just did something recently with Parkland to do some campaigns for them this past weekend. And so he was over at Friendship West and with Parkland ads, and just so we do this collaboration. So that's it. We try to provide the services, we try to make connections, and a lot of times even I also refer a lot of my clients and people who, even if I don't feel like our services work, because I know all of the publishers here in Dallas, and there are some other people who have other services that I feel like, hey, it might not be us, but here, I'm real big on sharing that information because I might not be the product or the service you need. You may need newspaper, you may need radio, you may need TV. So I try to just always kind of help the client and not so much worry about what it benefits for me, you know.
Okay.
Like the exhibit say, help others get what they want, you get what you want.
All right, well let me, so that was a quick, condensed over like 15 years of growth, right?
Oh,
so you started with just a regular directory, printed directory.
Yep.
Now that printed directory is also available digital, and then you do also email blasting.
Yes.
That email blasting connects with social media.
Yep.
But then you also have what's called digital TVs that is in different venues
and kiosks.
as well, and kiosks.
Yeah.
And then you also have what was it?
The mobile billboards. Yeah.
And so you've grown a lot, man.
Yeah.
I want to talk about two like case studies. One where a successful use of your services, but then another one where there were some challenges and you were able to help them out. But before we get into those two case studies, I want to ask you about your case study. Like, tell me about a time where during that 15 years of growth, I know you've had some challenges.
Oh,
man.
for sure.
So tell us a story about what the challenge was. And how you've overcome it, because a lot of people look at you and see how successful you are. They think, oh man, you just like blew up.
Yeah.
Man. It's like success is always an up and down road, right? And it's a road that's always under construction.
For sure, yeah. And there's no clock in and clock out. You have to eventually get to that part where you can control your days and times. But for the most part, even now, I'm still 24/7. Like I can answer a call at 2 or 3 in the morning because some of my systems are in locations like nightclubs. So I can be laying. Like, I remember times when phone would ring and it's like 1:30 in the morning. I'm laying next to my wife and I have the phone. But she already.
Who calling you?
No, she know. You know, Gigi. She don't question. She already know. Like I'm not dumb. But I answer the phone. There's somebody calling at the club. It's loud. Like, hey, I'm over here at the club. I want to see how I can advertise on the TV. Yeah, one of the main challenges is, let's say as a challenge and something I wish I had have done different. I wish I would have done a business plan. I wish I had done a business plan when I started my company. I came straight in off of just pure hustle, off of pure just kind of like I wasn't cocky. I just knew I had the purpose. I knew it was a calling for it, and I knew, like I said, I know God was telling me like, hey, this is it. This is your path. Remind you, I was fresh out of prison. And so I was really in tune to kind of making sure out here and knew what steps I needed to make. But in that process, I wish I think if I could do it over, definitely I advise people to do a business plan. Because then I would have known, one, about all of the things and how I compare with other competitors and what the marketing was, what was happening in the market, where I could have avoided some missteps. I would have definitely understood the practice of advertising and marketing being a part of a business plan, because a lot of us starting our business and the advertising marketing dollars, we all like, I don't have marketing money. Well, if you saying you don't have marketing and advertising money is almost equivalent to saying I don't have money to pay an employee. it's that vital to your business that it's a part of a marketing
People
plan
have
for
to
a
know
reason.
about you,
Yeah,
right?
and I think the other thing is like you even know that like the people that don't understand and know that advertising and marketing is a tax write-off. And so, like, they don't want to spend the advertising and marketing because they think it's like just going out when it's actually part of the thing to make you get it back.
You don't have to pay taxes,
Yeah,
right?
it's like,
It's part of your business.
so it's one of those things. So the challenge for me at the beginning was one, like I said, it wasn't a fact of just being on my own and solo because I come from hustling. I come from my father was an entrepreneur, my mother was pretty much like a numbers person, and so I wasn't afraid about that part of getting out, stepping out, and plus I had faith, and I already knew what I needed to do, and so I was really focused on what needed to happen. The business plan being one of the things I wish I could have done. I advise people to like, if you can, just invest in getting a legit business plan together. And then, like I said, we went through a couple of recessions and a couple of things where remember the real estate market crashed, and so money was, for me, I was always blessed in those times, except for the summers. Which then some of my challenges was like, okay, what do I need to do to kind of sustain that?
Even off the cyclical.
Yeah, so I even had to start figuring out specials and stuff to do specifically in the summer, and then also that's when the digital televisions came. So it was like, okay, I had to adjust and kind of recalculate and like, what can I do? And so I added a different service. And so it's just those little things, sort of like how we all gone through COVID. If you had a business during COVID, you really had to figure out how to adjust and how to recalculate. And I call it recalculate is one of my main things. Like you have to recalculate constantly because things are changing so much. And so I think the biggest challenge was just prioritizing time, and then just not being so hard on myself as far as because I used to be hard on myself when I took L's as opposed to learning as a lesson and trying to figure it out. I was like just hard. I was like, damn,
just learn from everything, right?
Yeah, so learn as from much as you can. They call it fail forward, right? Like just keep doing it, keep trying. If you have an idea, try it. Something's gonna work, something's gonna change. So yes, I think that was one of the things I didn't know about. I didn't get my business finance, so I knew nothing about going and taking my business and going and getting a loan. Didn't know about going to SBA, getting a loan. Didn't know. In fact, I borrowed the first like $10,000 from my wife's 401. And she still claims that the business is hers, so I work for her. So I didn't do that. I used my own money, and so that was another thing I think was a big challenge because had I done differently or knew differently, I definitely would have SBA. I definitely would have I would have immediately had, because I came out as an LLC because I had to, because I already understood that part.
Right.
But I didn't understand all the money that was for SBA. Didn't understand that I needed to get certifications and why and what I thought was important. Why should I get a minority certification? And I think had I done that, it would have helped me get approved for loans. If I knew how to work my credit better at the time when my credit was good and decent. And we talked about this before, and still teaching and understanding how businesses, especially LLCs, can establish business credit through Dun & Bradstreet, right? And that's like this unknown thing. Like, how many businesses got business credit?
Samson Dun & Bradstreet.
Yeah, so it's like you got business credit. Like, how many people out there know like what your business credit score is, or how they judge that? What is that on? And how do you get it better, or how do you establish it? What things you have to do? And so I talked about we need to probably have somebody come on and talk about that.
So here's what we're going to do. So right now, you drop some serious knowledge. So number one, a business plan is critical.
Yes.
The use of the Small Business Administration resources like SCORE, the Small Business Development Center, which could help with resources, also getting funding, getting certifications, creating your Sam or Dun account, right, to build business credit. So all of those are critical resources that we've addressed in our Empower Series workshops. But if you haven't attended one of those, but you want to get more information, definitely put a comment down in the comment section or email thrive@empowerseries.com. That's THRIVE @empowerseries.com, and we'll tap in and give you those resources, because those resources your taxpayers have already paid for. So a lot of them are free. So SCORE mentoring, free. The Small Business Development Center, free, very low cost.
I did a Small Business Development Center. I did one over in South Dallas. down in Ragsdale. I was officing there, had a couple of
Using all those resources, right?
At that time, I was using the ones that I knew about. It was a lot that I said later. I found out like I missed some missteps, but didn't know and just kept going. But I try to make sure that I let people know. Yeah, like hey, if it was some advice I could give you, it definitely be one, get your LLC. Two, make sure that you have a business plan, and like I said, make sure you use resources, tapping out to see like with SBA, with SCORE, with all the different resources you can connect with, even like I said with some of the black chambers of commerce or chambers of commerce in general, whatever ones like that fits your need. And then like I said, yeah, the certifications for sure. I went almost 10 years without certifications because I'm like, I don't need it. I didn't need it. Because at that time I was already just going straight to the source.
Business, right.
So
you have relationships.
Have relationships. And then it took later to where I really started seeing the benefit of having my certifications, because there's this corporate responsibility clause.
And this be clear, when you say certifications, what do you?
So minority business, small business certifications for like whether you're minority woman, or just in a certain tax bracket. And so it underutilized. I mean, it's a lot of them from the state to the federal. So it's just basically you getting your certification saying, hey, I'm a black-owned business. For me, black-owned business is minority-owned. And so then you have that certification, so that when you're dealing with corporate, especially with corporate dollars, and the fact that they have the responsibility to make sure that they're spending money with minority businesses, and if you're doing any kind of biz or anything that's got to do with like city, county, state kind of things, where like the city of Dallas, you're doing business with certain programs, they're gonna basically, that's a big part of the point system for you to get a bid or for you to get
some attention.
Yeah, because that's part of their bidding. And even when major contractors get a bid, they even have to still find minority businesses to fulfill some of the obligation of making sure that we're getting some dollars and money. So those are some of the few top things that I would definitely highly suggest.
Okay.
And another one is like, and very important, when I see, I learned this from a guy at one of our lunch and learns, and when I handed him, somebody handed him a business card, and the business card had a Gmail account, but it was a different business name, and it was like 3 or 4 things that just didn't match up, and he handed it back. And he said, I don't take business cards from people that their website don't match their email, and that their logos don't do this, and it had a whole thing about branding. I thought it was pretty hard that he did that, but it was a valuable lesson that I learned. I started trying to make sure that we deal with people like get your businesses all aligned. So your social media tags need to be similar as much as possible. Sometimes this stuff is taken. You may have to figure out how to make that different just by underline or dot or something different. But yeah, everything should be coordinated and congruent. You know what I mean? So for us, to find us on any social media, it's Go Black Business, right? My website, Go Black Business. My car, Go Black Business. The front of the cover, Go Black Business. So it has to be unified. Now, my company name is the Black Business Directory, LLC, but we have those as
your branding is Go Black Business. Right.
Yeah. So I think it's important still.
Well, man, thank you for that. So I want you to get into some more knowledge, right, about people who are starting a business. They have very low marketing dollars, how to allocate that. But before we get into that, I want to give you an opportunity to give some of your clients some shine.
Okay.
But also, but from a perspective of what has really worked well, but then also what has been a business that was going through some challenges that you were able to help.
Okay. So I always tell people this, and I give a disclaimer before I do. They say, so which part of your business should you do? I say, all of it. And most people are like, oh, you just want to try to get all my dollars. No, I'm just saying, if you're asking me, I think all of the services that we offer have their own specialty and place in Dallas, especially in this market. Like, I feel like we have a pretty good, strong grip and stronghold on Dallas as far as like being able to get you in front of the people that you need to get in front of. And so that's the first thing. So
well, clarify that. When they say what part of your business, meaning like the directory,
email marketing, the digital, the social media, being a part of like we
use it all, right?
Use it all because there's something about somebody picking up our directory, right? And then they turn in and they happen to see. I'll use this because it's a good friend of mine. Tarsha Polk, the marketing lady, right?
Yeah.
So they see her here, right? And just, okay, cool. Then next thing you know, they happen to be on our email marketing list and they get an email. It's talking about Tosh Spoken Marketing Lady. And then they're sitting there and
see on TV.
I mean, it's something about branding your business in a different
Like
area.
different.
And then eventually it's kind of like that, 7 touches kind of situation, right? And so consciously, your business is already in people's face because they've seen it somewhere at some place that has to do with what we do. Social media, and the email marketing. And so I always tell people, like, as much as you can, you do everything.
Okay.
Now, there are times where, depending on the budgets and depending on your business, like, we try to tailor it to fit exactly what you need. Because sometimes you may not need the book because we put this out every year. And so this is a resource more than it is for everything else, but it's also still part of your brand and still part of your marketing. But because we put that out every February, it has had longevity, which that's why we did the electronic edition, so we can continue to send it out throughout the months, and then we do reprints for special events where we know we're going to have a big market. And so, but it may not, and it may be just you need to be on TV. We have a couple clients.
So who's used all your services?
So Audrey Pearson is a realtor. He's like big time. He's been in D Magazine. He's been like top realtor. He's always getting awards. Always like a giving, kind, so hearty, like a percentage of all his commissions to charities and different things. So a really stand-up guy. So we've been helping him since the first time I met him. He was doing real estate, and he also had a clothing store over in Addison. And so he's done everything. He's been in the book. He's been in everything that we do. He just got back from vacation, and we just talked about redoing some other stuff for new systems and television that we're doing. So we're about to rebrand, and he used the email marketing to talk about homes he's got coming up for sale, so that goes through some places, and then he constantly keeps his brand out there. So he's been with us since 2000. I think I met him in 2014, and so for 10 years he's been with us. And
he uses everything.
Okay. Everything we do, if I come up with something, like we have any kind of events, we start lunch and learns at the end, he'd be the first one like, I want to be there. And so, because it's kind of been his thing, and so he talks big about us, we talk big about him. And then, like I said, and then even some of the restaurants and some of the cigar lounges currently, like right now, some of the 3 or 4 cigar lounges that we have, we've been really doing a lot with them, with the email marketing and with the television systems that we have inside their places, but we also advertise that stuff in other places. We do a lot of social media for them, holding their events, smoke fests and different parties or whatever, birthday parties, whatever they got that's special coming up. So they've been like really excited to constantly keep us updated with new ads, new things, what's going on. So they're really happy with what we do. So I have a lot of clients, and so even those like cigar lounge, LG Cigar Lounge, which is in Allen. Leonard is a really good guy over there, owns that. We got EB over at Blowing Smoke in Lancaster. We got the other Smoking Jacket that's in Cedar Hill, Allure Cigar Lounge in DeSoto. So those lately have been some of our, like, we do a lot of marketing and help with a lot of their events. They seem to be really, really happy with the whole process and working with them. As far as some of the other people who like come in and have challenges that we really have to help. FSO is a company that's just kind of starting, and they're doing like, they come in and they clean, they have a cleaning service, or janitorial, commercial, that kind of platform is what they're looking for. And the budget wasn't really there, and so it was like, okay, so after listening to the guy that owns it, I was like, you know what, his name is Chris also. I was like, listen, this is what we can do. We will let's find your budget, and we're gonna create a QR code. This is the first time I really did this in a long time. I said, let me create a QR code. We'll put your number on the call. They scan it. It'll go straight to your phone. And make sure you just follow up, find out how they heard about you, whatever. Because getting these calls, you need to follow up with that. And that's another tip. When people are calling you, you need to ask, like, how did you hear about us? See, that's one. You have to do the ROI to figure out how and who and where my money is working at. And so say, hey, when they answer the phone, just make sure you find out how they heard about you. Because what I did was I put them in like 20 systems in the Metroplex, created and designed this ad, and put the QR code on it. And I said, since you don't have a budget, I'll charge you this amount for the first month. You can be in 20 systems, and it was way discounted, right? I said, I'm gonna go by the QR code, and anything out of the QR code, I get 15%. From any business you get from the QR code. Let's try that. You know what I mean? And so
So he actually paid you though. So what happened now? I want to get this right. So you had a QR code on your different outlets.
I created it for that particular.
And so when that was being used, you could also track it too.
Oh yes.
Okay.
Yes. For sure.
So when that was used, so you charged them a flat fee just to use it, but then to help measure the return, whenever someone responded or took action on the QR code, you were able to see that. And instead of you charging them up front, you only charge them if you got business from it. Right. Okay.
And I've done that back in the day, but now that there's new tracking on the QR codes, it kind of helped me a little bit. And I'm trying him as a trial.
Too.
Yeah, I'm giving it as a trial because if it works like I think it should, then that may be a service we start off. Like, hey, you know what? This is what we do. We do an initial thing as opposed to charge you $500 a month. We'll just charge you like X amount. And then for the initial setup, to build an ad, create it, do the QR code and the tracking and all that. And then each month going forward until you want to stop or we come to an agreement on what that term is, like to the end of the year or 4 year. Then we get a certain percentage of all sales that you get from that. You know, and I'm real. This is more to it than that because it's also like you have to trust that somebody's gonna be honest about it. Even if you say, I know you got a call, but I can't tell if you got a sale.
Right.
So it's one of those things like you pay at the door when you leave kind of thing. You hope they pay and not walk out. But I don't worry about that. I'm really that's the last thing I'm really worried about.
All right. So let's be totally transparent.
Yes.
So maybe not 100% client satisfaction. Maybe not.
Whoa, no.
Okay. So tell us about a situation where your marketing really didn't work.
I'll say this before I talk about anything like that, because I've had people who said it didn't work and they didn't want to do anything, and so I've had several clients over the years for sure. That's like, hey, I tried it, I don't want to renew it, never got no calls, never got no traction, and then so usually when that happens, we try to figure that out early, right? Even when I'm with clients and we sit down initially, it's like, okay, we'll run it at any point in time during this thing. If you're not getting traction or you're not doing it, let's talk about it. We'll try to figure out something else. We'll try to, maybe it's the ad that needs to be changed. Maybe we need to look at something else. And we try our best to address that part, because if it's something that's not working, I want to know why. Like, I really like to know why. And a lot of people, when they come to us, like, hey, what's the ROI, or how can I judge it, how can I do this, and how am I guaranteed to do this? And I first start off, just from the marketing and advertising standpoint, is like, I'm guaranteeing you're going to be in front of like 800,000 people. Right? There's no doubt about that. You can go right now, go to any of those places I just named, cigar lounges, nightclubs, barbershop, and see your ads are running. So you're in front of people. When we do email marketing, people are getting their open. We have a high percentage open rate, we have click rates, and we go into all social media, and then we put the book out, so you're being seen. So sometimes it's more where we start is, what are you presenting, what are you offering, is it a time thing, is it like one of our clients we have now where it's getting ready to be, like for her, she's building up for tax season and some other stuff, so she's going in kind of heavy, right? So is it the right season? We do advertising for a funeral home. Okay, somebody might not call her today or tomorrow, ain't nobody died yet that saw it, but with the branding and consistency, you hope like it's subliminally in their mind so that they can make a call or remember you or see you when they do need it. So it's some things before it doesn't work happens. But yeah, of course, there's been some clients we've had quite a few clients where our services just didn't help. They didn't get called.
Why? You need an example of why they didn't help, or
it was like an insurance company. I remember like it's an insurance company that did some advertising with us with email marketing, and they just didn't get calls. They would get calls, but it never turned into money, and so they kind of just pulled out, Or it was trying to see. Even we had one of the big funeral homes that we had a contract with for like a year, and at the end when it was time to renew, they just went a new direction. And you remember over at Black and Florida, So and again another heaven attendee, but And so someone else took over and just had a different direction. They wanted to go more social media only, and they had their own way of doing it. And so that took out the advertising for the book and the directory and the TVs because they just felt like that was a waste for their money.
Okay.
So
I want to put your consulting hat on because you've had years of experience, over 20 years of experience in marketing and advertising.
Right.
You have clients that have succeeded. You have clients that for some reason didn't get the ROI or the return on the investment.
Yeah.
But right now, let's say you're talking to a young entrepreneur starting their business.
Right.
You said that one of the things that you would have done differently is had a business plan,
Definitely.
or you would have identified a marketing strategy, which is a key part of any business plan. So I want you to take us through what is the most effective, low-cost marketing strategy, and how would you advise somebody who has a business to determine whether those channels that you are offering, or other channels, whether it's social media, whether it's free stuff, how would you consult somebody just starting a business to make the right decision under that umbrella of advertising and marketing?
One, like even just like, and I was just having this talk with Alfred Walker, who has insurance. He does insurance, and we designed some cars for him for something he's taking, I think, to some smaller town outside of the DFW, and something he's going for, and it's going to be like a big attendance. And so we're creating these postcards, and so he said, "Yeah, I need these done because I'm taking postcards." And I said, "Oh, so you're doing old school? You're doing the guerrilla marketing?" He said, "Yeah, I didn't get it in front of people." So guerrilla marketing still hasn't changed. The being a foot soldier and kind of promoting and introducing your business to people yourself. Getting your family, friends, like that's how I used to do it.
Putting the
postcard
on the car, on the door,
at the event, or and wherever you can, just like, just get out there and you have to put your own blood, sweat, and tears. I remember Mark Cuban told one person, like he said on Shark Tank, he was like, he was out for the reason that he asked the lady, say, well, how many doors have you knocked on, right? Basically. And she said, probably about 7. He said, so you've been doing this for something and you knocked on like 7 doors? And when you saying doors, it's like how many corporate people have really tried to get in these stores? And she said, it's over 100. He said, for that reason I'm out. She said, well, why? He said, because you haven't tried hard enough. Like, if you just said you knocked on 80 or 70 or 60 or something, like a mass number, like, then I probably would have stayed in. But if you don't care about it, I don't care about it. I'm not going to care about it. So first thing, you have to like get out there and just do what you do, get people to know about you. I don't care if you had to begin and print it up on a printer and just kind of hand out something, menus or whatever you're pushing to promote it. So that is always the thing to try to get out and do. Try to get as much as you can. Try to get into some events and get a vendor booth. Sometimes vendor booths can be expensive. Sometimes you get them for $50. Sometimes $100. You really have to just kind of like. It's different for me because I got this butterfly effect, so I kind of blow with the wind, and the wind is always guide me to the right stuff. So people have to kind of be in tune with what's going on and know their industry and know what they're trying to do, and hopefully have some kind of sense of in-tuneness with whoever you following and believe, or even if it's yourself, just kind of being confident in that and having that faith that you're at the right spot. And know that if it was only 2 people that showed up, maybe one of those 2 people helped you. That's what Tyler Perry said. One person in the audience, that gave him a chance, and it will be like 10 in the audience total. So those are some of the things I would do. I would still do the basic things with postcards, flyers. Now, because now our phones are our cameras, so at any point you turn the thing on your social media
live stream
and just go. Just, hey man, like, you don't
need
to be all pretty.
That doesn't cost anything.
You don't have to be pretty, you don't have to be at the right place, you can be at the park, you can be just waking up. It really is like, Gary Vee talks about this, which is one of the biggest social media guys right now, but he just talks about how, like, it's no excuse. If you have a business or a product or a service, turn your damn phone on and tell people about it. All day, every day. It's no overkill, no other than that, because now it's all analytics. So now the more you talk about a certain thing, the analytics is picking it up. And so now when people else are trying to find out things, or they talking by their phone and they hear somebody say Empower Series, now stuff is popping up about Empower Series because that's just how it is now. So you should be on your phone talking about your product, about your service, who you are, what you got. You don't have to be glammed up. You don't have to have your shirt on. You don't have to, as far as like your logo, just talk about it. Those things help now. Let me back up. If you got the Empower Series and talking, it helps. If you got the Black Business Director stuff on, it helps. But yeah, that's what I say. Just utilize social media, your own social media platform. Then if you can find someone or learn about how to use social media buying, that's huge. Because now you can go into like Facebook, buy ads through Facebook, through Instagram, and you can target people through different age demographics, through different what areas, what zip codes. I mean, you can narrow it down to some specifics and only spend like $5 a day, $10 a day, just your budget, whatever your budget. And when that's out, it's done, it stops. And you kind of gauge that. So look into Facebook and Instagram advertising, because those are kind of things that even with a small budget you can try it. And even if you got 1, 2, or 3 people to kind of get interested and get back to you or get to your thing, it's good. The other thing is start utilizing QR codes, because QR codes have been a thing, but just now people really kind of just taking advantage of it, because now people can scan your QR codes on postcards, on your business card, or ads that we have in the television. People can just, it helps a lot so that people can scan your QR code, and they have different forms of QR code. One can be a call QR code, one can be an email QR code, it can take random places and other stuff. So I would do a lot of that if you have a budget, and then determining which avenues, whether it's newspaper, print, for our services, whether it's the indoor digital or the directory or email marketing. You really have to just know your product, know your service, have an idea of what you want to do, and just like you do in your car shop or house shop, just go and meet with people, see what they have, what they offer, see if they can show you or provide information like statistics on open rates. Like for us, for email marketing, one of the biggest things is open rates, click rates. People really want to know, like if I'm sending this out to 50,000 people, how many people are opening it, how many people are clicking on things. So you can get measurements that way. You can also do the same thing with social media, like how many views, how many people liked it, how many. So it's ways to track the analytics for each one of those services. Newspapers, if you're using that as a way to get your things out, then you're just making sure that what their distribution is in an area you know, and just making sure that the people you're using have that distribution, and go check some of the places and do that.
So do the people who come to you, do they already have their client avatar? Do they know for sure who their clients are, or they're trying to get that information from you?
Well, that's a gamut. So some do, some don't. Some come and don't even have ads or don't have any logos. Or I've had people come like, hey, I want to advertise my business. Okay, well, where's your logo? I don't have a logo.
Right.
Okay, you got the logo, but do you have anything? You got pictures? No, I don't have no pictures. I don't have no product. And so
you create all of that for them?
Yeah, I will. I offer that as a service. The service we offer is ad design and creation for people. If they need videos done or stuff like that, we have partners that we use for video and commercials. But yeah, we offer those services, and usually when I get the typical thing, I may be helping somebody out. I know I'm helping somebody out, and they might be instilling the recipe with this one.
Definitely, man.
But somebody comes to me and say, for instance, like my friend who had the custodial, right? He didn't know what one of his ads looked like. I didn't know, because I haven't done a custodial one in a while. So I was like, all right, so what I usually do is go to Google, do a search, custodial advertising, and I click images, and then they do stuff. And I look for what's clean and what I know, because I've been in the industry a while. I need clean, I need crisp, I need catchy, and I'll find about 10 of those, and then I save them, send them to them, say, hey, which one of these do you like? Like what template or format do you like? And that's how I do it. We do have template set up.
But there's so much in design, right? Yeah, it gives you a starting point.
It gives you a starting point. Oh, I like this from this one, but I like how this is done. We just merge it and this. Okay, we redesign it. So my team just say, all right, this is what he likes, this is what he don't like. Let's go. And we recreate it and do like 2 or 3 different templates, and then send it out. Let them pick. Go through all the back and forth for the draft, find the drafts, and get that finalized, then we come up with it.
All right, so here's what I'm hearing, just to kind of recap what you're saying. So I got a business, I want to start, I should definitely do a business plan. If you don't know how to do a business plan, there's a lot of resources out there. SCORE has a lot of templates with different sections. So one of the sections is marketing. When you look at marketing, it's going to ask you how are people going to know about your business?
Right.
And the first thing you're saying is that you should be your number one marketer.
For sure.
And that's as easy as you recording yourself in the morning. Every morning, how I'm going to make some sales, right? Yeah. Hey, do you guys know about the Empower Series?
That's it.
And so doing that and then posting it on all of your social media is action number one. And if you're not doing that, if you're not sold on your business enough to be uncomfortable, I'm talking to myself here, to be uncomfortable enough to wake up in the morning and show your face, like Michael Collier is on all the time, right? Yeah. So that's number one, and that doesn't cost anything but just your effort and your time. So that's number one. Number two, as you learn more about the social media and you know more about your client, Then you can start looking at targeting your advertising
Right.
to a particular geographical location, a typical client with income range, male, female, or whatever,
Exactly.
and start getting more pinpointed on
Even
it.
people who have birthdays on
On a
August
certain
6th.
month. Yeah, oh yeah, if you're an event
Your
planner,
birthday,
right?
oh,
Whatever
for
it
your
is.
birthday, if I own a workout facility, I'm a physical trainer or a yoga instructor, hey, everybody whose birthday is on August 6th that live in Dallas,
Right.
I'm spending my money on that. Here's the promo. Hey, happy birthday. Because it's going
Yeah,
out today.
right.
Happy birthday. For the day of your birthday, we give 50% off. Sign up today. That's simple.
Yeah,
Simple.
yeah. So again, so this is just free knowledge.
Right.
And then the other thing, use a QR code, because that's out there all the time. Begin to channel and look at open rates.
Right.
So whatever system you're going through, ask for the analytics
Yep.
to see, okay, how effective is this? Which is leading to my next question. How do you as a business owner, when someone is using your services, give them the return on because one way of looking at it is just how many sales am I making?
Right.
But that's somewhat out of your control, because then you got their close rate.
Yeah.
You,
Right,
you,
right, yeah,
you
that's
can
not
bring
my
people
thing.
to the
Yeah.
door, but you can't, close
Yeah, that's not my
business.
responsibility. That's on
But what kind of analytics do you give them to teach them? How do they measure the success of what marketing they are doing?
So basically, what we do is, if at the end of each, especially email marketing campaigns, we get trying to give the recaps. Especially when we have a lot of clients who are like really persistent on recaps. So at the end, we saw over average over the time of your thing. This is your open rate. This is your click rate. This is what we happen. We see that in the daytime, especially with social media, you're able to tell you in the daytime you got more people reading your things, or reading the things that got to do with you than we do anything else. For us, we know that entertainment is probably one of our highest click things. So when people have any kind of like events, whether it's the Chamber of Commerce or like Zero Lounge, like our entertainment open rate is always about 7% higher. So concerts, plays, anything where people are doing things, and we provide that. That's one of the services we provide, is to make sure people know about anything that's happening at church events, or if it's big, Potter's House is doing something, or French West is doing something, any kind of bigger events that they host. And so we're able to monitor to see that. With the television screens, there we always say what's called ROO, and it's rate of not the rate of investment, but of your opportunities
Like
and
people seeing
you.
you. Yeah.
Because you're out, it's a different kind of gauge. And so we try to do it's already a standard of each television system or kiosk that we have. So we go by how many people come to the location. So we already have a location number, like, so we know if a nightclub has 800 people on average, and so we do the whole average and say, okay, well, we know that at least 70 people saw it at times. You always multiply by this number that they came up with. And so we can tell people, like, we know at least 8,000 people saw you this month at this location.
Gotcha.
Just eyes. And so we try to provide as much of that as we can to people so that they kind of get an idea. We usually do that up front. Like, here's what average for us with our click rates, with our open rates. On average, according to your industry, this is what we know already. And if there's something new, like if there's something new that we haven't experienced, then we try to monitor that as we go.
Okay.
Yeah.
So kind of as we kind of wrap this up, a couple of things I have for you. If people want to work with you or just get more information about how they can use your services, what's the best way of engaging with you?
Let me add one thing.
Okay, cool.
When we talk about the promoting the business and what some of the ground, one of the biggest things is sort of like how we've always talked about and do is that collaboration. Right?
Yeah, right.
If you're talking about how do I get my business out from grassroots, you might start even looking into a lot of collaborations, trying to see what you can provide for someone else and let them provide it for you, and kind of like this exchange of services to help each other. Because like I said again, it's those connections that people may have that you don't know they can introduce you to, and vice versa.
Well, networking, right?
That's it. It's really like networking is a big part of it. And so networking, collaboration, meeting new people, that's another thing. So all right.
Well, let's kind of stay on that for a little bit, and then you can kind of talk about the closing comments. So collaboration. So a couple of speakers at the Empower Series, Munson Sneed, talked about finding collaboration partners or strategic partners.
Right.
And that's the challenge that I'm going to take on hanging out with the Empower Series. Is he said you should be connecting with at least 100 people a year.
I just heard that one too.
And reaching out to people and saying, okay, how can we collaborate? And collaborating is not always a self-serving thing. The way I look at it is a healthy relationship is when you are adding to somebody's life or adding to their business and they're adding to yours, and your business, the two businesses are not the only thing that's benefiting. It's through that addition, multiplication happens, and then multiple lives are affected. Because Dr. George Fraser says, in a relationship, one of four things are happening. You're either adding, subtracting, dividing, or multiplying. Right? And most people, it's like he doesn't understand why people spend time with people who are subtracting, taking from their lives, you're taking from theirs, and you got division. It's like you need to collaborate with people who are doing something. People who are adding to your life, you're adding to theirs, and through that, multiple lives and people are being blessed. So so the importance of networking, collaboration, finding strategic partners is critically important, and all that takes is you going out and shaking hands and introducing yourself and having something of value. And also adding value first instead of asking, can you do something for me?
Gary Vee again talks about, he has a book called Jab, Jab, Hook. Jab, jab, is
you give,
then you ask.
Right.
So let me help you, and let me help you again. Now, hey, let me ask. So and I like that principle. So I try to engage that way. Like, let me just do some stuff for you, just because I want you to understand. Like, I am here to help you. I want to see you succeed, because I know if you succeed and I help you, then whether it comes from you or somebody else, it's coming back. You know what I mean? So I look at that, and I don't look for that person. I was like, the universe is going to answer. So as far as us, our services, budget, it doesn't really matter about that. We sit down and we try to look at everybody individually, what they can do. What I pride myself on is that I try to have enough corporate anchors so that it can sustain what I need to run and live my life and my business. And so I've always tried to not have these high expensive kind of cost products and services. My email marketing with the database and numbers that I have, with click rate and open rates that I have, shouldn't be $150 every time. It should be $350 every time. The television systems I never have. I've always tried to do $50 a month, where everybody else is $99 a month, and then, or even more, $250, whatever. I tried to do that for as long as I could. And I try to make sure that any service we offer, we try to find partners. So if you're part of the Black Chamber, or any of the chambers in the Black Chambers that are in Collin County, Arlington, Fort Worth, Dallas, Power Series members or people with you guys, like, we make sure that we try to offer percentage off of anything that we do so they can save money. So we always look at everybody individually and the company individually and treat everybody the same as far as where we start and how we part. And then, like I said, I always try to do it all encompassing. I'm always give a proposal that's what I call optimal. After looking at it and being in the business enough, I think this is what we need to do, even for 3 months, see how it works. And if you like it, we renew and kind of keep it going. We add some more as money comes in. So, or it may be just, hey, let's not do anything. You just need to be in. If you're like something that's targeting women, you just need to be inside our beauty salons. And then we just probably need to figure out how we email market and social media that, so we really take everybody individually and try to make sure that we tailor it to what people need. And I never try to sell something that someone doesn't need. And if I don't think we're the one, I try to let them know, hey, here's some other resources. I think you should talk to this person. You should go here. You probably should do this. So I'm not in this business to gouge or mislead or try to take people's things and not help them get to where they're trying to go. I'm really trying to make sure that we're putting them. I'd rather be a resource. That's why we have the directories, to put all of the people resources so people have something to go to figure out, hey, okay, I'm looking for this, I need this, or I need that, so that we have it all in one place.
Well, I'll tell you this, if people have not heard of Go Black Business, they have now, right?
Yes.
But kind of just my takeaways in the recap, right, is a couple of things. You should have a business plan. If you have a business and you really want to be successful, you should put some thought to what is my business all about, right? So the language of any business is to have a business plan laid out. It's going to ask you questions you never thought about, but you figuring out the answer is going to put you in a better position to succeed. One of the biggest questions is, how are you going to get clients? So that's advertising and marketing, and it starts with you. So how are you advertising and marketing your business? Are you selling stuff from the trunk? That's cool. Like, how many doors are you knocking on? How many strategic partners and collaborative relationships are you attempting to form? That's always important. So So putting forth your sweat equity it's not going to cost you dollars, but it's going to give you a return that's much bigger in you understanding who your client is and being able to target that more. And then I would say having a conversation with you. It's not always every conversation is going to lead to a sell, but it's definitely going to lead to more value. That person meeting with you, from my own personal experience, that you're going to have putting structured thought to how you should get your business out there and known and be a blessing to other people is going to be beneficial whether they use your services or not.
Sure.
They're going to walk away with more thought and keen insights. They're going to walk away with any collaborative relationships that they can form with you or other partners that you may know about. And I just think that it's valuable. So I think it starts with, have your business plan, think things out. You are the number one marketer. And if people want to get in touch with you right now to kind of continue this conversation, stay connected with you, how do they do that?
Any of our platforms, like I said, all the social media is Go Black Business. If you want to reach out, it's Shane, SHANE, at goblackbusiness.com. That's my email address. Our phone number is 866-834-3932. We're local here in Dallas, but we reach all the surrounding cities here. And the website actually is nationwide, so even then you can go and find resources while you're in other places and other cities. We have thousands of people who are listed all over the place: New York, LA, Memphis, Chicago. So I answer the phone at 2 in the morning.
well, man, look, I want to thank you. Does not reflect my appreciation for you taking the time out of your life to be here. I know there's a bank that can specifically use your services. Tonight, I'm going to go back and email them and let them know, because they have a mortgage product that is targeted for minority areas and allows you to finance up to 100% of your home purchase. You don't have to come down to closing with $500. Everything else is financed, and you don't have to pay the PMI. Right? So, so I'm thinking, what? So I'm definitely going to have them connect with you to see if that collaboration can help let many people know that can help them get into a home. But again, thank you, man. I appreciate you stepping in. More important, I want to thank you for joining us. In every Empower Series program, our goal is to give you hope that you can achieve whatever vision you have. So hopefully the information that Shane and I have shared with you gives you hope. But hope is not enough. You got to take action. So we want to also inspire you to take action. So one action could be to reach out to Shane. Another action could be to call SCORE or the Small Business Development Center and get templates of your business plan. Another action is to contact Empower Series. Thrive at empowerseries.com. and engage with us, because we're all about giving you resources to help you take that next step, giving you education, and key is connecting you, man, because nothing of significance can ever be done alone. And if you want to identify a strategic partner to get in touch with, or a strategy for collaborating, networking, we're all down for that. So do not let this be the last. This is not the end, this is the beginning. Share this with somebody else, because somebody else can be blessed. The world, I'll leave you with this, the world is waiting for you, right? I said this a number of times. The world is waiting for you, because every single one of us is unique. We all have a special gift. My gift, the Empower Series. Go Black Business. You got one too, and the world is waiting for you. But you're probably sitting around thinking, I don't know what to do, I'm scared, right? Or, what are people going to say? I'm going to fail forward. Every L is a learning opportunity, right? It's not a loss, it's a learning opportunity. So the world is waiting for you, because there are people out there waiting to be touched. And the only person that can touch them is you, or the message you've got. There are people out there waiting to hear the message. And that message can only be delivered by you. So the Empower Series is about empowering you, inspiring you to thrive, and be bold. Take that step, right? Don't let this be the end, let it be the beginning. And until we meet again, be empowered and inspired to thrive. Thank you.